بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ بوأنا لإبراهيم مكان البيت ألا تشرك بي شيئا وطهر بيتي للطائفين والقائمين والركع السجود.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة لأهل التقوى واليقين ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين العبد المؤيد الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد المحمود الأحمد أبي القاسم مصطفى محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أما بعد، فقد قال الحكيم في كتابه الكريم: ولله على الناس حج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا. Hajj is one of the obligatory duties for every able-bodied person, and it is one of the pillars of faith, one of the principles of faith. Whoever, according to Muslim scholars, whoever denies Hajj, which is an essential principle of Islam, this denial will be blasphemy, will amount to blasphemy. And so the denier will be an unbeliever. There are verses in the Holy Quran and traditions that refer to the duty of Hajj. According to the Holy Quran, Hajj is an obligatory duty for every person who can afford the expenses of Hajj and who can bear the costs of the Hajj pilgrimage. Many people have to go a long way to reach Mecca. Some may have to go by air, some by ship, and some may walk all the way to Mecca. Some may drive to Mecca. So whatever the cost, whatever the expenses, one has to afford the expenses. Before explaining the conditions, the necessary rules and requirements, I will have to explain one thing regarding Hajj. Whoever embarks on the journey of Hajj has to prepare himself for this journey. Preparation is a must. Now, there are two kinds of preparation. One is the spiritual preparation, and another is the external and physical preparation. Now, as far as the spiritual preparation is concerned, one has to purge his intention, purify his intention for the pilgrimage of Hajj or for the Hajj pilgrimage. That means that whatever he owes to people, whatever duties he has left undone, he has to try to fulfill them For example, if he has not paid khums before going on a journey and before leaving for Mecca, he has to cleanse his property by giving khums of his property. He cannot embark on a journey with the money from which he has not paid khums. It is necessary that he should purify his property and that he should repay his debt, his loan, and then go on the Hajj pilgrimage. If he owes someone some money or something, he has to return them. He has to repay his loan, his debt to people to whom he owes. Of course, it has been highly stressed that before leaving for Mecca, you have to seek forgiveness from your relatives, from your friends, and from those whom you might have been a cause of inconvenience. If you have hurt someone, if you have caused someone inconvenience, or if you have done something harm to some people, then it is recommended that you go to them, ask them forgiveness, and tell them that you are going on a Hajj journey and you need their forgiveness and you need them to forgive you. That is important, and that has been greatly emphasized and stressed by our religious authorities, and also as per the traditions which are available in our sources and in our authentic books. Now, this has something to do with the spiritual preparation. You need to clarify, purify your intention. You need to pay off your debts. You need to purify your property. As far as the preparation for Hajj is concerned, the external and physical preparation is concerned, of course, you must be an able-bodied person. If you are ill, if you are sick, if you are handicapped, and if you do not have the means, for example, you do not have a car to drive, or you do not have the means to travel, then of course you are not considered to be a capable person. A capable person is one who has the means for transportation, who has the money, who has sufficient money for the expenses of the Hajj journey, and also for the expenses back home, and also for his family, because his family also needs support and protection. If he has the expenses for the Hajj pilgrimage, but he does not have enough money to leave for his family to spend when he is absent, then he is not considered to be capable, and Hajj will not be obligatory on him. So, it does not make any difference whether you are performing Hajj for yourself or for someone else. Or maybe it is your wife It is a woman who performs pilgrimage. She might have the expenses to go on a Hajj journey, but on her way back home she might not have the money, and also she might not have a working husband to earn her expenses, and she will suffer hardship back home. And when she will be back home, she will not have enough means of livelihood. Then in this case, Hajj will not be obligatory on her. So it's very important that we have to take notice of the concept of istita'a. The Quran clearly and explicitly refers to this notion, saying, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. Whoever affords, whoever is capable of the expenses, and whoever is capable of going to Mecca. And not only money, because some people do have money, but they don't have the means. They might not have they might be sick, and or they might actually, or maybe there are some other hindrances, like the path, the way to Mecca might be insecure, or he may not find the air ticket, he may not get visa, and there are new hindrances. Maybe the Saudi government might not issue visa for him or for her. So in this case, these are all the hurdles, these are all the barriers that need to be taken into account when explaining the rule or when understanding the rules of istita'a. For example, in some countries, in some overpopulated countries, the number of pilgrims who must go to Mecca, to Saudi Arabia to perform Hajj is limited. Some countries cannot send as many pilgrims as they want. The Saudi government has imposed restrictions on visa. Visa will be issued to a fixed number of people. So some people have to wait on the list and they cannot go in the same year. However, when they are financially capable and physically able to perform Hajj, they have to take immediate action to perform Hajj. It is their responsibility, it is their duty to take immediate action. And if they fail to perform Hajj in the same year, they have to take action to perform Hajj in the ensuing year and the succeeding year. The Hajj as a duty will not be removed from their shoulder. They have to perform Hajj once they are financially and physically capable. Of course, if an occasion arises where, for example, he or she cannot go due to an illness or due to an accident that might happen to him, then in this case, if he had been capable of performing Hajj, he should hire someone to perform Hajj on his behalf. He should hire someone. Or he should make a will so that his heirs should hire someone or should perform the Hajj on his behalf, using his estate, of course, using his property. Now, if he himself can do or perform the Hajj, he must do it. And as long as he is able-bodied, as long as he is physically strong and physically can manage to go to Mecca, he cannot hire anyone. There is no doubt that an able-bodied person cannot hire someone to perform Hajj on his behalf. He should perform Hajj in person. He should perform it by himself. and no one else can do it on his behalf. Now, if he is ill, if he is suffering from a sickness, if there is an impediment, like a disease, like for example, he has become handicapped and he cannot go to perform Hajj, then of course in this case he must hire someone and he should bear the costs and the expenses of the Hajj journey. Now, these are some of the explanations, the general explanations about istita'ah, of course. There has to be, one thing has to be taken into consideration. Some people collect money to perform Hajj, but they do not have a house to live in. Now, in this case, is it obligatory, is it wajib on such a person to perform Hajj or not? According to the fatwa of the ground religious authorities, if a person needs a house and he needs to buy a house to live in, and without a house he will be in discomfort, he must buy a house first. And if his money is sufficient enough to buy a house, then he cannot perform Hajj, and Hajj will not be obligatory on him. Of course, if he performs Hajj, his Hajj will be in order, but that will not be an obligatory Hajj. That will not be a Hajjatul Islam. It will be considered on his part as a mustahab Hajj, as a recommended Hajj. And whenever he becomes capable of performing Hajj, then indeed he must take action to perform Hajj once again. He must buy a house first, and then if his money is, for example, if his asset is enough and can cover the expenses of his Hajj, he can go on the Hajj journey. Otherwise, Hajj will not be obligatory on him. If someone gives you money and tells you that I will bear the expenses of the Hajj journey, but you should go and perform Hajj for yourself, not for me. I will also give the expenses of your family as long as you are on a Hajj journey. I will give them money and I will help them. Now, in this case, Hajj will be obligatory on him and he must accept, because Hajj has become obligatory. He says, if someone says that he will pay the expenses and he will cover the expenses of his Hajj, going and coming, and also he will pay for his family, then of course he must take action for the journey, and he must as soon as he can. Now, in case he goes on a Hajj journey, that journey will be considered, that Hajj will be considered as Hajjatul Islam, and it will not be necessary for him to perform Hajj once again. Even if he becomes financially capable and gains and collects a lot of money, in that case Hajj will not become obligatory on him, because he has already performed a Hajjatul Islam, and Hajjatul Islam becomes obligatory once in every individual's life. It does not become obligatory twice or thrice. Once you have performed it, then you are relieved of the obligation, and it's no longer necessary for you to perform it. Now, even if you have gone on a Hajj journey with the money given by someone else, then that will be sufficient, and you have performed the Hajj pilgrimage, and there's nothing that you should do afterwards. And of course, when you take action to perform Hajj, you must take quick action. So that you must have enough time to prepare yourself, and you must have enough time to book seats for yourself or to take visa and or maybe air ticket for yourself, if you take action at a very late time or very lately, then you are considered to be guilty. And of course, a guilty person is a sinful person. You must take quick action, and you must do whatever you can to enroll yourself for the Hajj pilgrimage. And if you do not enroll yourself, if you do not take preparations for Hajj, you have committed a sin. And of course, whoever intentionally ignores his duty, his religious duty, and his religious obligation, he has committed a sin, and God will punish him for that error, for that sin. Now, assuming that you will go on a Hajj journey, there is one thing that you need to know. You might live in a predominantly Sunni country. Now, you might have seen some Sunni scholars, some Sunni pilgrims advising their Sunni populace to wear ihram in their houses and to wear ihram even at the airport of their country. Now, suppose you are leaving for Mecca from the airport of your country or the airport of the town where you live, and it might be quite at a distance from Saudi Arabia. Is it permissible for you to wear ihram in your country or from the airport or not? Of course, all the religious authorities have said that it is not permissible for you to perform Hajj at the airport or in your house or from any other places other except the miqat, the station, the miqat, the fixed place. It is the station specified for wearing ihram. Miqat is the place where every pilgrim has to wear the ihram and has to say the labbaik. If you wear ihram before miqat, then you are not considered to be a pilgrim. You are not considered to have started your Hajj. You are not considered to have initiated your Hajj. Hajj starts from the miqat, from the fixed place, like the Shajara Mosque, which is a popular miqat for the pilgrims who move out from Medina. Of course, there are many stations, many miqat for the pilgrims. Every city in Saudi Arabia has a special miqat. Now, Medina, the miqat for the people of Medina is Masjid al-Shajara, the Shajara Mosque. And those who come from Jeddah, they might wear ihram at another, of course, station, at another miqat. And those coming from Iraq, they might have another. They do have, of course, they have their own miqat, their own station. And one cannot cross a station, one cannot go or pass by a station, by a miqat, unless he wears ihram. And wearing ihram is a must, it is obligatory, and you cannot wear it from your home or from the airport or from any other place except the miqat. Of course, according to some scholars, if you are going, for example, if you are going to perform Hajj or Umrah, you can wear ihram by way of nazr. Nazr. Now, what is nazr? Nazr is a vow. It is a promise that you make. For example, you will say, "Lillahi alayya an uhrim min Jeddah." This is the formula of nazr. And of course, the formula of nazr, the nazr has to be made, according to some scholars, in Arabic. And if you are not going to perform it, to make the nazr in Arabic, you have to say the same sentences that convey the same meaning, if that is in your own language. If you just say that, okay, I will inshallah wear ihram from Jeddah, that's not a promise, that is not a nazr. Nazr has its special formula and special sentences that you should utter with the intention of nazr. Now, any kind of promise is not considered to be a legal promise. It's not a binding promise. So, therefore, if you wear ihram by way of nazr, that is allowed. Otherwise, if you do not make any nazr, any vow, then of course there will not be any. It will not be obligatory on you to perform, to wear ihram at Jeddah or any other place. So ihram must be worn from the station, at the station, miqat, and not any other places. Inshallah, I will carry on my discussion regarding Hajj and will further cover the issues and provide the details in this regard. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
ربنا يا ربنا يا ربنا يا ربنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا يا ربنا ربنا يا ربنا يا ربنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا يا ربنا يا ربنا ربنا يا ربنا يا ربنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا يا ربنا ربنا يا ربنا يا ربنا